Hey guys, Drippy, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going from Porthtowan to St Agnes. It's a walk I've been wanting to do for a while because whenever I've been to Porthtowan I always tend to go down the coast rather than up north. So I was joined by Connor. We left the bikes at home. Connor was going to go cycling with someone else. I was going to go too, but because of the mess that the bike makes in my car, I just thought I'd leave the bikes at home and kind of scout ahead for this one to see if we could bring the bikes. And if people are interested in biking this route, as you'll see, I mean, I'm sure you can make the minds up for yourself, but there are some parts where you think, okay, this would be really easy, and then there's other parts where it's like really rocky and rough, where I don't think it would, at least for me, I don't think I could ride it, and if I would, I'd probably come off and land like face first on a load of rocks. So I'm glad I did walk, and it turned out to be a really, really nice day. So like I said, we started in Porthtowan. I don't think I've covered Porthtowan yet in this video series or channel series. I have been to St Agnes but never to the beach, so I've showed off like towards the end of the video a little bit of that. But yeah, it was a really, really nice day. It was about a 4 3/4 mile walk, so fair old walk really. Not like a massive distance, but in terms of like the ups and downs and climbing around, it was pretty tiring. So we were glad to get in the pub at the end of it and have a nice drink and a bit of a meal as well, so which I show off towards the end of the video. But yeah, with that intro done, I'll let you guys watch the video. Wanted to include the sound in that clip. I didn't realize how bad it was just so you could hear how bad the wind was. A lot of the time we were like leaning off the part of a cliff or the hill, leaning into the wind, and it was keeping us upright. It was really, really strong. I've no idea how fast the wind was, but usually the camera I'm using is the GoPro Hero 8, and part of the sort of the draw to the camera is that the microphone is meant to be really good against the wind and stuff, but obviously a microphone is going to pick up sound, and when you've got the wind bombarding it, it's still going to make that horrible noise. So in other videos where I've been on the bike, so I've been going quite fast on the bike and the wind is coming against the camera, you can still clearly hear me and Connor talking. But in this one, you see the difference at the start of the clip. Connor's talking and you can only see his mouth moving. You can't hear anything, and as he walks past me you can only barely hear him. So I probably have to cut out the rest of the sound of this video depending on how bad it is, but I just thought, like I said, I'd include that just to show you how bad it was, because normally the camera's pretty good. So the car park you can see now is for Chapel Beach. It's a pretty small beach, but it's worth going to. It's kind of like underrated. We go here quite often, myself and Lisa, during the summers. You have to get there reasonably early just because the car park isn't the biggest and it will fill up pretty damn quick. But they've got a cafe there if you want like some burgers. They also do ice cream, so what we'll normally do is park up, walk up one side of the hill, say to the south, have a wander around there, and then go back down, grab some food, and then walk up the other side and just make a day out of it. And also, you can probably see it as well in the distance, the old engine house. I don't know if it's that one or the ones above it or the entire collection, but I think it's called Wheel Coats. So if you're into like sort of Cornish heritage and stuff like that, they're well worth seeing. They don't look too big from a distance, but once you get up close, you realise how tall they are. You're like, bloody hell, it kind of takes you back a bit. So they're worth seeing, and if you're taking this route, it's kind of worth stopping there, and that's like a perfect place to have a break, have a picnic, or whatever you want to do. Look out! That would have got you as well. Yeah, good reactions there. Other day that when in like the heyday of mining, if they're sort of going straight down, they'll say, oh, let's dig up here a minute and see if we can find any ore, and if there wasn't anything, they just wouldn't tell people that they dug there. And then of course it's like someone's back garden one day opens up and it's like a 300-foot drop. It's like loads of unmarked shafts. It's crazy. So we finally arrived in St Agnes, and to be honest, I didn't look around too much to begin with, just because I was so tired. I hadn't exercised properly in a good week or so, so to go on like a big walk kind of exhausted me. But we stopped off in the Driftwood Spas, I believe it's called, a little pub, and at the back of the pub there's a restaurant area. So I put the pictures up on screen. I had chips and a big old burger. It was massive, and Connor had fish and chips. And I'm not really a heavy drinker, but I enjoy a drink every now and again. And I had a cherry rum with Coke with ice, and it was like amazing. I might as well have not drank anything for a month. It was that good, just because I was hot and it was like a nice cold drink. But the pub had a really nice warm atmosphere. You'll see it in the video. There was like a fire right next to us. And yeah, I've just never been there before, never even knew it existed, because I don't really go to St Agnes very often. Like I said, I think this is probably the second time I visited, and the first time I went nowhere near the beach. So if you're in St Agnes and you want to stop off for a drink somewhere, then I'd definitely recommend this pub. And this is where my lazy brain came in. There was a cash machine, which is like free cash withdrawals, no charge. So I said to Connor, like, I don't know about you, I don't know if I can bother to walk back. And because it was getting quite late, if we had walked back, it would have got dark when we were on the cliffs, or on the coast route, I should say. So it was like walking in the dark and really, really heavy wind. I didn't fancy it, but mainly it was because I was too damn lazy. So I withdrew some money and we got a taxi back to Porthtowan. So it was alright. I think our next plan is we're going to go to Porth, which is the opposite side, and we're going to park up in Porth and then walk back down to St Agnes. So if we do that, it's obviously weather dependent. I pretty much would have covered like a massive chunk of that coast. So I know my previous videos have all been pretty much centered around Porthtowan, so I'm going to try and get away from that area if I can. Not that there's anything wrong with Porthtowan, but yeah, the weather isn't helping at the minute with where I go, so I don't want to drive like an hour and find us tipping down with rain and freezing cold. But yeah, hopefully the future videos I will be branching out a little bit more, especially as, well, we've got a good 2 or 3 months of the winter yet, but as the weather gets better I'll start to branch out more again. But with that said about winter, this could be the last video of the year. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm going to try and get out. Like I said, I want to go to Porth, but that'll be weather dependent. So if this is my final video, I hope you guys all have a good Christmas and a happy new year. And thank you for, well, visiting the channel really. If you're subscribed, thank you for that. I think I said in my first video I'm not really bothered about subscribers and views and likes and whatever. That's why I never ask for it at the end or the start of the video. But I think we're close to like, I think on like 70 odd subscribers, which is pretty good considering the channel's still like about, well, say 5 or 6 months old. So I'm happy with that. Just impressed more than anything that people watch my crappy videos. So if you are watching them all this time and you've stuck around this long, thank you for watching and putting up my, it's like I said, mediocre content. But yeah, with all that said, happy Christmas, happy New Year, and yeah, more content to come soon. Right on, cheers!